Antoine Bibesco was born in 1878. He was a Romanian noble and diplomat, amongst many other things. Like many Romanians of his class and time, he had an intimate association with French culture and civilization. This original bon viveur spent the last days of his eventful life in Paris after being hounded out of his country by the Romanian communists. He died in 1951. One could spend a lifetime discussing him, but for me, one quote attributed to Count Bibesco rings forever true. The fall of Constantinople is a personal misfortune which happened to all of us only last week. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter whether he did indeed say this or not. The truth is the truth, after all. The history of that city, I won't call it Istanbul, is an indication of what is to come for the ever-complacent countries of Western Europe. Of course, the city of Constantinople and its last emperor went down fighting at least, unlike the total collapse we have been witnessing in Western Europe over the last few decades. The traveller and writer Ernle Bradford describes in his brilliant book The Great Betrayal how the Fourth Crusade sacked and destroyed Constantinople in 1204, a cataclysm which has been curiously avoided by Western historians, philosophers and writers to this day. The Eastern Romans never fully recovered from this disaster, and the eventual fall of the great city to the Turks in 1453 was perhaps inevitable. It's not a story to gladden the heart, but the warnings and parallels for us today are obvious. So much for the history. The Western countries are their own greatest enemy. The story of Constantinople and the eventual collapse of the Eastern Roman Empire serves as an antidote to our own facile optimism. Western civilization and culture are more likely to be destroyed from internal dissension than external pressure. The poison lies within. Count Bibesco saw what was on the horizon. There are those who think, even now, that 10 years is an eternity in the life of a nation. They are only fooling themselves. Nothing lasts forever. Everything breaks. Everything fades. Everything dies. Thanks for watching.